Good morning and afternoon, depending on what time zone you are in, and thanks for joining us. Today I have with me Steve Stuckey, and we are going to give you a overview of our K-12 program. My name is Rick Miller. I'm a learning consultant here at CypherWorx. I've been with the company about a year. My background was with AT&T for about 9 years, and I was a Marine for several years prior to that. I enjoy working with CypherWorx. It's a small organization, but it's large enough to serve you, but small enough to know you by name. I live in Winchester, Virginia with my wife, my 2 kids, and my 4 grandkids. And the gray hair you see on that picture is from the grandkids. So now let me introduce you to Steve.
Thanks, Rick. Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Stuckey, and I'm very pleased to join you here and tell you a little bit about our K-12 program. I've been, as it says on the slide, 34 years in sales, management, operations, and training. And my previous career was with Paychex for 23 years, and really enjoyed my time there. That's where I got involved in adult education. And after joining CypherWorx, I became involved primarily in after-school and early childcare education. And you can see that I serve now on the California School Age Consortium. And so we work with a lot of the state organizations throughout the country, specifically for after-school and childcare. So we've got a lot of experience in those areas and working with districts specifically in that area, and really helping them set up a purposeful process of professional development. And so we're really excited to share this with you. I too have gray hair. My gray hair is from my kids, but I have a lovely wife and 2 school-age children right now. So thanks, Rick.
All right. There are 5 key takeaways we are hoping that you walk away from today. Number 1 is to establish new friends in the business. Here at CypherWorx, as I mentioned prior, we are a small organization, but we're friendly and we know what we're doing. We hope that you will use us as a single source resource for anything K-12 related, even if it's outside our LMS or our course catalog. We love working with school districts across the nation and wraparound programs and after school and pre-K programs. We're very easy to connect with, a phone call, an email. We're based out of Rochester, New York. So a quick phone call will get you answered right here in the States. And once we're finished with our conversation today, we hope that we have the opportunity to have a more personalized conversation with you about your program, get a little deeper into how things work and what gaps you might have and ways we can help take that program to the next level. And if you don't have a need today, we hope that you'll send us to a neighboring district who may have a need or gaps that they need help with today.
Yeah, so let me also mention to you that if you have any questions, this is set up as a webinar. So if you do have any questions, please send us those questions in either the chat or the Q&A, and Rick and I will try and pay attention to those as we go. Thanks, Rick.
Yep. Our company vision, we are empowering people and organizations to pursue learning opportunities to advance skills, knowledge, and ambitions. And our mission statement is to provide learning technologies and content to support organizations and learners in their quest to better themselves and gain success. I'm going to play a short video for you about the company, but I'm going to cut it off a little early, and it should give you a good feeling for our company and a message from our CEO, Paul Cypher.
CypherWorx, we really focus on helping organizations that provide first line support for students, teachers, first responders, others who are in helping professions. So for instance, we provide training for zookeepers, firefighters, and first responders, EMS, EMT. We provide training and certifications for teachers and childcare providers, and really focus on those industries where somebody is helping somebody else.
At CypherWorx, we have a learning management system for an LMS. It's a place that people can log in, take courses, take training. We have admins that can run reports, see progress, track certification progress.
Education is important for a variety of reasons. In this day and age, having the ability to learn online is super important.
But when someone actually takes a course, or they learn something, or get a certificate, or get a credential, they can use those to really improve their lives, and they learn something that improves the lives of others.
We originally started by offering solutions to a lot of nonprofits, a lot of organizations that just didn't have a lot of funding or a lot of means to be able to offer training.
Our learning management system is customizable, so we really are able to work with our clients to see how we can best fit what they're looking for.
CypherWorx is unique due to the fact that we're a smaller company, we're tight-knit, and we really care about our customers and clients.
We receive what they need. We turn on a dime for them. So we really work well, we feel, with all of our clients.
We can provide that personal touch and go that extra mile for people and know that we're really changing their lives.
So one of the main things that we're trying to do is to offer education, preparing incarcerated individuals for the workforce.
Okay. So hopefully that gives you a better overview, a little bit more about us, which we'll dig a little deeper in. And I'll turn things back over to Steve to share a little bit about the history of CypherWorx.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. And thank you for sharing that video, because I think it gives you a little bit of a feel for how we started. And I think it's important to understand, who we are and where we were birthed. And really, this came out of a combination of, I shared with you my experience getting involved in adult education in my previous career. And at the same time, Paul Cypher, our founder and CEO, wound up working in nonprofit organizations. His last position was with the Baltimore Museum of Industry, and they had a charter school and summertime programs and so forth. And he was in that position, very frustrated with the challenges of trying to give people the training that they needed, maintaining their certification hours, and then also just the logistics of trying to keep all of that information. And at the time, they were using spreadsheets and so forth. And Paul said, hey, there's got to be online solutions for this, because we have high turnover in these positions. We want them to do a great job. I know the employees want to do a great job. It's just difficult to match them up with the knowledge that they needed to have. And so that was really the birthplace of CypherWorx, is that whole notion of recognizing there's really, at the time, no national standard for training for even after school education. And so what happened is that we wound up creating and started CypherWorx really as a instructional design company, taking all of this knowledge and resources and putting these into interactive online courses that were engaging and have proven to be effective. And so over time, Paul wound up partnering with the National After School Association and Child Care Aware to create our first set of courses. We then either purchased or worked with subject matter experts in these various industries that we specialized in. And so over time, we collected a catalog, or created a catalog, of over 2,000 courses. And so in our conversations, and how we came to K-12 is that through Paul's conversations and hearsay and so forth, wound up getting into conversations with, in particular, an assistant superintendent of schools, who started seeing some of the training that we were offering and saying, hey, there's a lot of challenges that we're dealing with in school districts right now, whether it's behavior issues in the classroom, or we're hiring a lot more paraprofessionals right now because of challenges with teacher shortages and so forth. And gosh, there's a great opportunity to work with you to use a lot of these courses that you have and create some new ones specifically for school districts. So that's where we are today. And fast forward, you can see that, last year we provided training to over 1.2 million individuals annually. And we just released this K-12 program in the last 9 months. And we already have many schools in New York and other places that are already utilizing the training. And the nice thing about that we hear about the training is, number one, it's up to date, it's new, it's useful, it's relevant. But we're also very flexible. So you'll find that we can deliver those courses in your existing learning management system, for example, or you can use our learning management system. We have all kinds of integrations and so forth. So CypherWorx has really established itself as a great partner for low cost, highly effective online training as you need it, when you need it. Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Steve. As Steve started to mention, we have over 2,000 hours of e-learning content, and our content is available and designed as a mobile responsive LMS system. We also offer instructional design services. So if you have a need to create your own content or update your own content, we have award-winning instructional designers who can complete that with you and your team.
Yeah, and I think that last slide, Rick, if you don't mind me interrupting, is just a really good illustration of the flexibility, but also recognizing the fact that if you wind up working with CypherWorx over time, your needs will change. So very few districts come to us and say, hey, let's turn everything on, right? Because there's an awful lot of training that and modalities that are offered through this program. But that's part of the process. As we consult with you, we find out what's going on in your individual district. And oftentimes a school district will start with just addressing one concern. Maybe it's paraprofessional training. Maybe it's community education. Maybe it's teacher education, and that's where we will start. But then the fact is that we also have that flexibility to be able to help you with instructional design, because oftentimes organizations will want to create custom policies and procedures about maybe what you do in the case of an emergency. What is our plan and process for communicating with parents in the community and so forth? We can create that into an online course. Because I really believe that most every individual working in the school district really wants to do a good job. And what we find in both the public and private sector, nonprofits and for-profits, is that that's one piece of turnover that happens that's in our control. But the feedback oftentimes is, I didn't know how to do my job. I didn't have the right tools. I didn't have the right support, or whatever that might be. And this process allows you to put in place that purposeful professional development process. And folks are not just going through and necessarily taking that compliance training, but it also offers them that ongoing training to continue to develop and prepare themselves for that next position. Maybe it's a leadership position. And that instance of being able to develop an individual is what often contributes to lower turnover, higher retention, higher engagement. So we hear all these things from programs that are a result of that. And then you'll see accreditations and compliance. Rick, I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah, these are some of our accreditations. We are a New York CTLE approved sponsor for those in New York State. All of our teacher courses are approved for annual recertifications. Perhaps one of the things we're most proud of is an award we just received from MyAsset this past September, as we were honored as their 2023 exemplar training organization. And if you're not familiar with iAsset, it's a interesting story. It grew out of the Department of Education at the federal level, when back in 1969, they were looking to better understand how to use or apply a CEU for adult learning and essentially post-college learning. And IASSEC grew out of this task force, and has been instrumental in developing standards today in terms of what is a CEU, how does it look like, the content that's required to be in it. And this past year, we were voted as their international organization with their Exemplar Training Organization Award. And we had a lot of stiff competition, including Harvard. So we're more than thrilled that they honored us with this. We also are a CDA development provider, and we are EdLaw 2D compliant.
Yeah, and I would say that that's one thing that, we're very proud of is that Paul Cypher, our founder and CEO, comes from a background of education. He's an adjunct professor at Medaille College. And that's one of the things that was really core to his belief is if we're going to do online training, we're going to do it in the right way. So you'll see that we work with outside organizations, universities to do efficacy studies, making sure that we're measuring the impact and that these courses are not only engaging, but also effective. And does the learning take effect, and is it sticky? Does it stay for a long period of time? So if you're interested, we've got tons of data that support that. But when we look at any one of these certifications, we want to make sure that we were beyond reproach in terms of the quality of training that's being delivered. So that's why we share this with you. Thanks, Rick.
And these are some of the major credentials and certifications that kind of bolt on to the subjects and catalogs we have, including a lot of numerous technical preparatory courses, so that, for example, if you have a student or a citizen in your community who wants to get their CompTIA certification, we have all the programs, the literature to get them to that point where they can successfully take and pass that examination. And it's all included. So it's a huge cost savings, not only to the students, but to your community, and a way to give back as well.
Yeah, let me give you another example too. Kind of one way of looking at this is like the paraprofessional exam. So for instance, you can choose a catalog of paraprofessional training. But what that also includes is the ability to take the paraprofessional training track to provide you the knowledge that you need to actually sit for your paraprofessional training exam. Similar to the CDA, the Child Development Associate, all of those courses are available individually for credit hours if needed. But some organizations, some individuals say, you know what, I want to get my entire CDA. And so it'll allow you to do both. So there's organizations that come in and they may take pieces or courses from those catalogs, but just note that we built out the complete process. Another example is the GED test preparation. So we've got a series of GED courses that folks can take. Maybe it's catch-up credits for some of the kiddos that have been, maybe caught behind a little bit from COVID. So they can either take individual courses to help them out, or they can take all of the courses that puts them in a perfect position to sit for the GED exam. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, and it's interesting you brought up GED, Steve, because we were just had a meeting with the Greece Central School District outside Rochester, New York, and they have been doing GED education the same way for decades. And now they've adopted a more asynchronistic and hybrid model where the students are able to take these courses by themselves on a cell phone, a laptop, a tablet. And then they come in periodically to have one-on-one conversations with the instructors. And it's proving to be a very successful model for them, as it has with other school districts.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that blended learning approach is one of the things that Paul and the team kept in mind when we created the learning management system. Is any one of these catalogs, any one of these courses, any one of these certifications can be run as a blended learning process. And clearly that's a really, really effective way to learn. It's a great point.
These are some of our educational clients. You may recognize several of them nationally. And look at that. We've even reserved a spot for you right here in the upper left. So we'd love to have you as a customer and join our team here. But these are some of our current educational clients, including Harvard. As I mentioned earlier, all of our content is mobile responsive. So if you're sitting in the car waiting for your son to come out of football practice or your daughter to come out of dance lessons, you can start to take a course right on your cell phone or tablet. And if you're not able to complete the course, it will remember where you are. So next time you open up that cell phone or tablet or access that course, it'll pick up where you left off. And now we'll talk a little bit more about our K-12 program. And Steve, over to you.
All right. Thanks, Rick. So, yes. So the nice thing is that working with superintendent of schools, we really got to dig into, what is all the training? What are the things that we need to keep in mind? Keep in mind, any of the guardrails from, union activities and so forth. And so we've worked with districts that are very small, all the way up to districts that are very, very large. And so the way that this is priced and presented is to allow us the flexibility to meet each district where they're at. And the nice thing about this slide is we kind of have a joke here, is the great thing is that we've got a lot of courses. The challenge is we've got a lot of courses. So what this means is that we work with you, we consult with you over time to figure out which courses or which catalogs you want to tackle first based upon any specific challenges that you have or any part of your training that you want to uplift or promote. So you'll see that top line, if you look from left to right, is community education. So there's over 2,000 hours of online course content that's available to your whole community. That's graduates, anybody in the community. You can have a link right from your school district website, and it'll provide them access to all of this training. And this comes with part of your subscription to CypherWorx, but also is a really good thing to promote in your community is what is the school district providing back to me? And so you can see the benefits there. I won't read into all of those details. Then the second catalog is that teacher and paraprofessional training. Some districts have come to us and said, hey, I want to start right now. My big burning need right now is to get my paras up and trained as quickly as possible. And we'll share with you, we just completed an efficacy study with Spencerport Public Schools. So we pay really close attention. Is the training relevant? Is it helpful? Is it what we need? Are there any other types of trainings that are needed? And that's a good example of how we work with our school districts, is that if you have specific needs, they may be very unique to your school district. We can create courses in addition to that, customized courses. But we've got everything laid out very well with experience from school superintendents and directors of curriculum. We have teacher on staff that helps us be mindful of how we're creating these courses, et cetera. And then you'll see compliance, safety, and staff development. So think of the school district as a whole. What are some of those required trainings that we need to have? So it's non-harassment training, bloodborne pathogens, active shooter training, and so forth. All of these courses are available online. They have a quiz at the end. They have a certificate. And if you're delivering these through a learning management system, either your existing learning management system or ours, then you'll be able to assign those courses, run reports, see who's out of compliance. You can automate a lot of these pieces. And that's what we're there to help you with. But the idea is covering any type of training that you might need throughout the school district. And of course, these are all new. They're all completely mobile, and they're all backed up by all the policies and processes that we shared with you earlier. So as I mentioned earlier, we also came from the world originally of creating the after-school certificate series, of training courses that are approved for credit in every state. And then we added the early childcare education. So childcare encompasses an awful lot. But again, these are all approved for credit in every state. And then we also had the opportunity to have the technology and career education piece. And part of what's included here is courses on life skills, which is really important to me personally. I have a son who is now in high school. He's looking to take that next step into his career or college. And all of these life skills courses, whether it's managing money and internet safety and so forth, those are really great courses to have for any of those either students that are in with the district right now, or once they've graduated, and maybe you've got somebody in the community that wants to upskill themselves, or a caregiver that's interested in, gosh, my kiddo spends an awful lot of time online. How can I keep myself safe on the internet? Those courses are available. But the technology and career education courses, those are really designed to help give these kiddos a step up when they're getting ready to interview and prepare a resume, and even more in-depth. As Rick mentioned, CompTIA certification is one of those certifications that's kind of the keys to the kingdom. If you're going to get hired by Amazon or Microsoft or any one of those are going to give those kiddos a leg up. And again, even the CompTIA certification, if you were to go get that yourself, it might cost you about $1,200 to get that training. That's all included in your K-12 program. So again, we're really excited about this. We're learning geeks, if it's not obvious already. Thanks, Rick. So actually, let me explain this slide too, just in the interest of time. And we'll send you this recording in the slide deck here after our conversation. But what we did is broken these out, and these are just a list of some sample courses that you'll see. So I was just talking about tech certification. So there's that CompTIA course that I was talking about. But there's also courses on Amazon Web Services, Azure, Google Cloud, Microsoft Office, and so on, even project management. And then you can see under professional development, safety, HR compliance. Those are just a listing of a few of the courses from the catalogs. There's many, many hundreds of courses that are available when you need them. So this slide is talking about the fact that we can, again, be very flexible. So some organizations, some school districts want to use our learning management site, which is very easy to use. Again, it's fully mobile. We train you how to use that. We provide all of the customer service. You can actually talk to a live person. Those service calls come directly to us. So if somebody calls you from the field and says, hey, I'm having a problem, you can send them right over to CypherWorx. Now, the second kind of oval there is in your learning management system. So we have other organizations that already have a student information system or a learning management system that they really like. We want you to have the opportunity to keep that. And so we have the ability to deliver our courses in your existing learning management system. And then, of course, we can deliver it in PowerSchool and other student information systems, whatever you might have. And then that community education piece, oftentimes we'll set up a separate learning management site connected to your school district webpage that allows folks to come in and just access that training whenever they want to. Hopefully that made sense. And then I will just quickly make a comment here about the efficacy study. So oftentimes we'll do efficacy studies when we come out with a new series of courses. And this is an efficacy study that we did with Spencerport Public Schools. And you'll see that as part of that, the green vertical lines here are pre-test, the blue vertical lines are post-test. And we do that to make sure that, again, there's more information around this in terms of surveys and so forth. So it's really quite a nice process that we go through. But we want to make sure that before we release these courses into the wild, that they are successful and that people are learning things. And so we typically will take a cross-section of folks, whether they're brand new to education or they're already established. Maybe they've been in education for 20 or 30 years or longer. And so we're really pleased to see that the results of these before and after. And how we do that is we do a pre-test. We have them take the course and then do the post test. And then again, additional data around that. So we're really pleased with these results. And I will also say, if you wind up partnering with CypherWorx, we're more than happy to do an efficacy study that's specific to your school district.
And to bolt on to that, Steve, we do, if you would like more information on this efficacy study, we do have a 3 or 4 page document that goes into a little more detail on it that we'd be happy to send to you. Community schools, we've touched on this a little bit already it's a program that you can offer to your community for them to better themselves or to upskill themselves. Oftentimes school boards and school districts hear from their population that don't have kids in the school anymore, and they want to know, what do they get out of it? Well, this is a great program for the school district to give something back to those folks, so that they have a lot of very useful courses and stuff available to them through the school district.
Yeah, this is great. Rick, I'm sorry to interrupt, but just a quick time check. Looks like we're just up on our half an hour. So if anybody has any questions, I encourage you to put those into the chat or the Q&A. But I will speak to this real quickly because we've done several webinars on addressing specific issues, whether it's school safety, it could be social emotional learning. How do you set up a learning process for your folks? These webinars are recorded and they're all available on our website under the K-12 webinar series. So we'll be continuing to add to those and making those available. So this is part of that ongoing process of education. It's not like you come to CypherWorx and you purchase a contract for this learning management system. We're with you every step of the way. We're going to be helping to make sure that this becomes a robust part of your professional development of your staff, a part of that process. And it works really well with what you have, the training process that you have today. So, all right.
All right, and here we are at the end, and we will be sending this deck out, as Steve mentioned earlier, for you to look at it. But we do have a sliding scale depending on the number of catalogs and the number of students you have in your district. But we didn't want to, we wanted to give you a more specific example. So we created 3 for a small, medium, and large school district, just to give you a better feel for the pricing that's involved. This first one is for a small district that has about 1,000 students and wants to take advantage of 2 of our catalogs. That would work out to about $7 a student a year, or $7,000. And that's before any discounts. There are numerous discounts available out there, and we can work with you to get those applied. If you're in New York State, this is fully COSER eligible. So whatever your percentage is would get applied to our program. A medium-sized school district, we're one of about 10,000 students who wants to do all 5 catalogs. It works out to about $4.14. So you can see as the student count goes up, the per cost per student drops dramatically. And then, of course, if you are, 50,000 students or more, it drops to a couple bucks a student a year. If you have 100,000 students, which there are some districts out there, it's about $1.14-ish per student per year. And then for those that listen to this webinar or are attending here today, we do have a special that will run through the end of the year. No matter the size of your district, if you would like to select from one of these 4 catalogs, we will give you a special 12-month trial for $2,500 flat fee. And again, it doesn't matter if you have 1 student or 100,000 students. Those are your 4 choices. The one catalog that is not included on here is the community education, because that one is a lot more involved in setup and such. But this will give you a great opportunity to check us out and see how your staff and employees enjoy our courses. So hopefully you got a better understanding of who we are today, and some of the benefits that we're hoping you take away from this is, we have great content from award-winning designers. You can trust us to show your staff that you are being supported in multiple ways. We do have a very customized delivery and flexibility option. So each district is the same, yet each district is different. So we can pivot and customize something specifically to the way you like to do things. And our catalogs are updated on a regular basis. We have new courses coming out every month. We have older courses being updated as federal requirements required or a change in the industry. And our low cost and high impact, along with the relevant training, gets you engaged results. And as one of our customers, Ty Zinkowicz, shared that you'd like to say that our LMS and course content are unlike anything he's seen before. And it allows him to support the needs of his staff in an effective and efficient manner. So the next steps on this is, we'd love to have a more personalized conversation with you to try to figure out where your gaps are and how we could help take your program to an even higher level. If you're ready to move ahead with the trial, we will submit a SLA to you, create your site, and then train your staff, and you'll be up and running in about a week or two. And Steve, did you have any final thoughts?
No, just to say thank you so much for taking your time, and excuse me, encourage you to reach out to Rick. We'll reach out with a copy of the session today in case there's anybody that you want to share that with internally. And we would love to set up that conversation with you. I think that's where things really start. You get to know the CypherWorx team. We get to know you and really what your specific needs are, right? It's not a one size fits all. It's every organization's a little bit different. And, we want to work within your time frames, but I think what you'll find is the team is very knowledgeable, very passionate about what we do. We really care about the result, and that folks are getting, not just ticking the box on a compliance, but they're actually walking away with knowledge. It's just really important to know that we're continuing to do the work that we do based upon that mission and vision that we shared with you at the beginning of the conversation. So we look forward to talking to you.
All right. And I'd like to leave you with one final thought. When I was younger, a teacher of mine told me that I would never amount to anything because I procrastinated. And I told them, just you wait. I hope that you don't wait and procrastinate like I did and take advantage of us. We'd love to work with you. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day. We look forward to talking to you soon, and have a great holiday.